All right. So here's what always excites me about any presentation I'm looking at is the numbers. Um, so when we purchased this lot, we were looking at an after bill value of right at about 590 to $600,000. That's what we were looking at. Our current nearby comps right now for renovated properties and some properties in not renovated but just show well, we're 650 to 725. The comp that's 725 is probably about 300 square feet above grade larger than ours. So it's, you know, uh, 10 or 15% larger than ours is above grade, but it's sold, at $725,000, and we've got a bunch of comps at 650. So our lot acquisition was 120. Actually, that should be 128. Our construction, we think, is going to come in at about 370. Here's a fun fact: building this same house in early 2020 or maybe late 2019, this same house, we figure probably would have cost us about 325 to 330 to build. Yeah, yeah. And so right now we're projecting 370 when it's all said and done. Same house, yeah, same house. Once again, house prices have gone up. But so has the cost to build it, and builders are going to pass on some of those costs to buyers. Obviously, they're going to pass off as much as they can, but that's just a fun fact. Our after build value. Remember when we bought this thing Christmas Eve of 20 Christmas Eve, we were looking at 600K, and now we're looking at 675 to 695. So the cost to build it has probably gone up $40,000 to $50,000. However, what we think we can get for it, we think we can get $75,000 to $95,000 more for it. And that's assuming we just get a handful of offers. I mean, if there's 30 offers, then obviously, if there's a bidding war, if there are lines out the door for showings, then obviously we project we'll sell it for even more. But we think our projected gross profit 185 to 205, and our projected net on this one would be 130 to 150. It's hard to get those numbers on rehabs. We had a rehab in Tacoma Park, $1 million neighborhood that we sold last October, where we made on that one, I think almost $300,000. But that was one where we got a great deal from a wholesaler, and we added value by adding 1,000 square feet. But straightforward rehabs, it's hard to make those types of returns these days when just buyer demand. I mean, if one great thing about selling a property or having it go into contract within a day or two after it's listed, it's nice, but just realize when it's time to get more inventory, you're up against those same forces. At that point, it's great when you're the seller, sucks when you're the buyer, and it trickles down. Doesn't matter if you're buying rental properties or investment properties or even land. It's all of that crazy demand trickles down in some form or fashion.
Hey, Vern, we're right at 8 o'clock. Are you getting pretty close? We got some questions.
Yep. So last couple of slides. So here's the lessons learned in the opportunity. Better project management. Time is money. So we want to go from the day we close to the day we sell it. Closing. You want to get that down to about 7 months. And that just means, once we get under contract, get due diligence done, get design started. And once we get permits in hand, break ground. Also means that anticipating delays on materials and anticipating increasing costs, negotiating better prices with our trades and keeping them on their deadlines. Also, I mentioned that earlier on, a way we can save money and time. we've built several of these new construction houses. We've never built the same floor plan twice. If we build the same floor plan twice, we can go to permitting right away. We can order our materials right away. We take out so much of the guesswork and so much of the management. Construction hacking. One thing we always keep doing is we want to build in higher value neighborhoods while we control and reduce construction costs, and we keep our lot acquisition costs in check. That's exploiting the spread. We continuously make sure we aren't overbuilding. No need to build square footage that we won't get paid any extra money for. Also, one thing we know is that we spend about $30K on a basement. So to dig a hole in the ground, pour concrete, and this is even before you finish it, we spend about $30K. So much of the cost of a below grade basement could be saved. We could probably do it at half if we're building houses that don't need a basement or an above grade basement. And one of our next opportunities is we are going to look at the build to rent model. So not building to sell it, but building single family detached and multi-unit properties and renting them out. We know if we build them brand new, they'll have very little maintenance, will attract great tenants, and over time, they'll just become great assets. Cheap money helps also. And also we're looking at the model of build to suit assisted living. One thing about assisted living operators, for them, it's not really a real estate play. So they don't really necessarily go looking around to save money on a real estate. Ideally, they want an asset that's turnkey. For them, time is really money, and they don't want to spend 6 months doing a rehab or 6 months making alterations. So we are looking at that model where we can build out single level assisted living, properties, think 6 or 7 beds, which 6 or 7 rooms, which for them may be 12 to 13 patients, and just kind of building them turnkey. And that is it.